Avis Haven, 1. Crypt attack. June 27, 2075. Raven woke up to something, throwing rocks at her tree. She made a big mistake by sitting up because one of the rocks hit her in the head. Ow! Okay, I'm up. She peeked over the edge of her nest to see who was throwing the rocks. Finally, I thought you'd never wake up, he yelled from below. What's the matter, Heather? Kent crashed into a tree while we were racing. Oh, let them know I'm coming as fast as possible, said Raven, scrambling to get out of her nest and go. Here in Avis Haven, everyone has a role to fulfill. Whether big or small, someone's got something to do in Ravine. Raven was the assistant nurse or medic. She was the one to go to for small injuries or sicknesses. The big stuff was left for Raven's mom, Gloria. Soon, Kent was brought to Raven's office. Okay, let's see. Nothing looks broken. It's a little bruised, though. Does it hurt when you open your mouth? Asked Raven. No. Then it seems you'll walk away with just a black eye and a swollen cheek. Might want to put some ice on that. Otherwise, you're good to go. Thank you, Robin. You're always welcome, Kent. You two be careful now, she said as they walked out the door. Raven also exited the building. She took a breath of fresh air. It was time to do her routine overview of Avis Haven. Raven had been doing this for as long as she could remember. She flies high up in the air and takes in the view. However, something out of the ordinary occurred. The faint screams of someone running towards the haven and something bigger chasing him. Trees were knocked down in the path. He got close enough for Robin to hear what he was saying. Lockdown, crypt attack, lockdown. He ran for his life. Robin nosedived. She almost crashed into the ground. What's going on? She asked, worried. All the people were scrambling and screaming. A sentinel has infiltrated the inner wall, said Chief Oryx. Oryx held the very obvious title of Chief of Avis Haven, or the CAH. A breach? There hasn't been a breach for 25 years. Apparently. Well, there is one, and we're going to need you on standby if anyone is caught outside. Yes, sir. Lockdown is when all residents of the Haven retreat into multiple small caves while the selected soldiers fight for both their lives and the safety of the Haven. If all soldiers die in battle and are not able to subdue the beast, the residents wait it out until there is no sign of the crypt/sentinel. Then the construction Avises salvage what's left to rebuild society and the walls. Soon the gap between the crypt and the entrance gate closed. Ravine watched from the side. The guy frantically crawled under the gate. He managed to get out just before the creature broke through the entrance gate. It came to a halt, sliding across the dirt, but the man kept running until he was out of sight. Open fire! Oryx yelled. Gunshots and the roars of the crypt could be heard for miles. It raised one of its 6 legs to stomp on someone, killing him instantly. It used one of its sharp appendages to stab one of them. Aim for the head, someone yelled. I'm trying! He's flailing too much, shouted another. Bring in the nets. We need it on the ground, said Chief Oryx. The nets tangled around it. They brought sledgehammers and started beating it as hard as they could. It struggled for almost 3 minutes, trying to get free. Eventually, they severed the head from the rest of its body, and it went limp. Throw it in the fire pit, said Oryx. 2 dead, 4 injured, and the rest scot-free. 2. Charlands. June 28, 2075. Raven didn't sleep a wink that night. What even are the Sentinels? Why are they even here? And around 1 in the morning, she sneaked out of bed. She was going to find out where they came from. She packed a few things, which included, but was not limited to sticks, a map, a bestiary, marshmallows, a lighter, and a loaded handgun. She slipped out the door. The moonlight illuminated the path to the gate. She lit her torch and headed for the gate. Her claw barely grazed the surface of the metal when, "Where do you think you're going?" asked a voice behind her. Ah! She jumped, causing her to drop her torch. It stayed lit, lying flat on the ground. It was Chief Oryx. Chief Oryx. How I? Hi. She leaned on the gate. I asked you a question. That means you answer it, he said, crossing his arms. Nowhere. Just doing my usual stargazing. Up in that tree. She pointed to a tree behind her. I've made laps around the Haven every night ever since I was anointed chief. and not once have I seen you going out to stargaze. Well, also, if you're going to stargaze, can't you just do it from your nest? Why do you have to exit the Haven? I see you are caught in your own web of lies. He gave a chuckle. Ravin sighed. Yes, Chief Oryx. Tell me the truth. Where are you going? I want to find out where they came from. Raven. He sighed as well. Why didn't you ask? I thought nobody knew. If you want to know, long ago, there was peace. There was no Avis Haven, or at least, no need for one. Our ancestors roamed free. Then one day, gods, known simply as the divine, came down to Saltu. They spread fire that scorched the ground in a chunk of land known today as the Charlands. Monsters erupted from the ground and roamed the lands, some such as clickers, riths, igniters, and shixes. They then placed a machine with a crystal inside it. Soon the biggest threat emerged. Crypts, otherwise known as the Sentinels, placed in the Charlands for one thing, to guard the machine. Nobody knows what the machine does. It did not take long for the monsters to start roaming onto our luscious green home. This is why Avis Haven is here, a refuge from the hideous abominations that took our planet from us. That's all we know, and I strongly encourage you not to exit the Haven. Now I want to find out what the machine does now. You listen here. If you step 1 foot out of that gate, you are banished until you come back with an answer. Okay, fair enough. She pushed the gate open and took a step. Don't try to come crawling back. You've made your choice. He continued his lap around the Haven. As soon as he was out of sight, she made her way to the wreckage of the inner wall. Instead of being scary, the outdoors were almost peaceful. Crickets chirped and bushes rustled. Wait, bushes rustled. Who's there? Asked Raven, starting to reach for her gun. It's just me, someone said. What? Willow, don't play dumb. I don't know who you are, but I'm not Willow. Truff, that's not me, someone else said. Then who is it? Someone pulled back a leaf in the area her torch shone. A mushroom? Person? Ah, what the hell are you? I'm going to be straight up honest. I don't know. Who's the other girl? That's Willow. Okay, hold on. Willow, where even are you? I'm right here, Truff. Where's here? I can see a flame? By the way, where's Ghost? You expect me to know? How many of you are there? I'm up here, dumbass. Willow, make your way towards the flame. It's where I am. As a matter of fact, I see a flame too. I'm climbing down. The others reached Raven and the mushroom guy, a leaf and flower person. Who are you people? The only name we've been given is the bipedal flora. We were biologically engineered. By who? The person we're trying to find. Atlas. Well, you could tag along with me and see if you find him on the way. Just who are you? Asked Willow. I'm Raven. Are you one of the Avis Populo? Yes. Awesome. And you guys are? I'm Willow. This is Truffleo, and he's Gostashid. Okay. Well, I'm going to be on my way, so yeah, you can come if you want. Raven continued on her journey to the Charlands. She knew they were following her because she heard their footsteps. Soon they came to a stop at dawn. Ravine spotted a berry bush and went over to pick some. You guys want some? She asked as she popped one in her mouth. Willow gasped. You monster! What do we look like? Cannibals? Ghost and I are gonna munch on some tasty photons. Thank you very much. I'll take some, said Truffalo. Willow glared at him. What? I'm a fungi. I know that, she said, still giving him a side eye. Ravine pulled out a map. We just need to keep heading north, she said. 5 miles? That's not as far as I thought it would be. Also, how are your guys' fighting skills? Actually, really good. Atlas trained us when we developed to do so. He said we'd need it. By the way, who's this Atlas guy? Oh, we're not supposed to tell you. He said it'd ruin the timeline. Okay, well, let's get going. Want to get there as soon as possible. 3. Clicking. They were walking about 2 miles in when they heard something. Ravine scanned the area. Am I going crazy or did something make a clicking noise? Asked Gostoshid. This is why I asked you guys if you could fight. We're getting closer to the Charlands, so we're going to see more and more monsters. I suspect this is a clicker. She pulled out her gun. Wait, you have a gun? Yes, I do. And I'm going to use it if possible. The clicking became louder. It soon showed itself. It looked like a giant centipede. That's a clicker? Watch your side. They use their mandibles to smash you into the ground. She handed them some knives. Try to jump over it and stab the back of its head. That's where their brains are. It clicked and lunged for Gostashid. He did as instructed and stabbed his knife into the back. The three of them stomped and stabbed and smashed it. Let's check for a pulse, said Truffalo out of breath. Sure thing, replied Raving. She lifted its head, pulled out her gun, and fired directly into the mouth. The bullet flew straight through the head, being traced by blood in the air. She dropped it on the ground. No pulse. Good. Wait a minute. If the most common monster was this difficult to defeat, what are the others? There's igniters, wraiths, and... She shivered. Shixes. It says here, igniters are like pop-up turrets that burrow into the ground. They surface from behind you and fire white-hot projectile fireballs called spits. They can cause second to third degree burns. Be sure you do not let them burrow under the ground you are standing on. If they surface under you, the tops of their heads can ignite just about anything, most likely capable of setting you on fire. The best chance of winning is sneaking up behind them and slashing them horizontally with a knife or sword. Or simply try your best to stay 20+ feet away. Wraiths are snake-like creatures that hide in ravines and chasms. Whenever something jumps over or falls in, the wraith is sure to snatch it right up. To know when you are nearing a cavern with a wraith inside, put your ear to the ground and listen. There should be a low humming vibration. The best chance of winning is by only entering trenches if absolutely necessary. Shixes are massive bird-like creatures that stalk their prey in the sky. When they are most vulnerable, they swoop down and capture it. The prey is brought to the children in its nest. There, they will feed on the victim alive. To know when a Shix is stalking you, look in the clouds. This is where they usually hide. If you spot a shadow of a giant bird, you are being stalked. The best chance of winning is either slashing its throat when it gets close, or luring it to a ravine that you know is home to a wraith. Interesting. So, not good for Avis populo or bipedal flora? No, not good. At least they tell us how to evade and defend against them. Yes, the closer we get to the Charlands, the more common monsters will attack. We need to be ready. It says that clickers are the easiest to defeat. I wish I had access to more firearms, but back at the Haven, I am simply a nurse. 4. Uncanny split. After fighting off an onslaught of monsters, they finally made their way to the edge of the jungle. The separation between the scorched earth and the vibrant green forest was uncanny. Direct split. No fade in or out. One step, you're on grass and dirt. The next, on burnt rock and ember. The atmosphere seemed to shift as well, from warm and humid with the smell of trees, to hot and dry with the smell of smoke. No one spoke a word as they crossed. No one talked for a while. Fear had sealed their mouths shut. It was surprisingly desolate. No monsters roaming, and especially, no sentinels. Step by step, nothing. Just an eerie silence worse than loud roars. It was as if all beings had felt their presence, saw them as easy pickings, and hid, waiting for the right time to strike. They came across a lava pool. No words. Were there actually any monsters? If so, where are they? In the distance, they spotted a mountain, from the top of which a bright, beautiful beacon shot out into the sky. It was only a few miles away. They were still silent, but they all smiled, knowing they were close. Their joy was, however, short-lived. Truffalo looked up at the clouds and saw a shadow circling them. This was enough to finally make them speak. 5. Atlas. Guys, I think we're being stalked. The rest of them looked up at the cloud. Shix, yelled Willow. It flew down from the cloud. It was a vibrant red. You just attracted it! Run! Ravine screamed. They all simultaneously sprinted. It tried to grab them with its claws but failed. Soon they were closing in on a ravine just up ahead. Despite being at full sprint, all four of them could feel a vibration in the ground. "You feel that? That's a wraith," Raven shouted over the screeches of the Shicks. "We can use that to our advantage," said Gostachid. They readied to jump off the edge. They spaced their strides. 3, 2, 1, and jump. Time seemed to slow down. They could see the wraith below opening its mouth, ready to eat. They crashed hard onto the ground on the other side. A few of them looked up to see the Shicks being almost entirely swallowed and pulled back down into the ravine. "Is everyone all right?" asked Truffalo. "Yes, we're fine, thank you," replied Rabin. Gostachid stood up and brushed himself off. "Uh-oh, guys, we're not done yet." A horde of monsters surrounded them. There were even more Shickses. "What are we gonna do? We can't fight those off." An igniter shot at Willow, nearly missing her. Ah, they were cornered. A clicker almost had Raven in its grasp when... "Stay off of them," someone shouted. Guns and lasers started firing at the monsters, killing most of them and scaring the rest away. The Shickses remained. A wolf came down from a rock and confronted the Shickses. He jumped on his hind legs and used his claws to slash its throat. It dropped dead instantly. The other, probably scared of meeting the same fate, flew away. "Are any of you injured?" "No, Atlas," said all three of the bipedal flora. "Oh, okay, so you're Atlas." "That is correct, Raven, and I have brought others. Nori, Raptimov, make your presence known." A Centaurian and a black and white humanoid emerged from behind the same rock Atlas came from. "Hello," said Nori. "Hi. Who are you two?" asked Robin. "Robin, these are the puzzle pieces to a pure timeline. Meet Nori and Raptimov. Nori, defeater of the Amalgami, aka William Carter. Raptimov, huge role in the defeating of Solar Dendrum, aka the Alpha Night Mist. And about you? My backstory is not necessary. What are we doing? The Crypts, or Sentinels, are not as they seem. They are really blank slate animatronics. They make use of a hallucinogenic gas called Enlight. Their heads control the secretion of the gas, as well any other parts of their bodies. Severing the connection will shut down the gas secretion, causing its horrific appearance to be shattered. They guard a machine that keeps them powered. The beacon you see, it tethers this planet to another. On that planet, more Sentinels exist, guarding the stairs to heaven. Destroying this machine will power down all Sentinels. Here or there, you, Nori, and Rabdimov will destroy it. From there, you will find your way to the other planet. You will know what to do then. That is semi-overwhelming. And you three will follow me back to the year 2276. Yes, Atlas, they said at the same time again. And Robin, one more thing. The mountain is shorter than it looks. It's really not a mountain. And here, he handed Rabdimov a photo of a weird, digital-looking place. Teleport here when you have destroyed the machine. He opened a wormhole thing. He and the bipedal flora stepped through, and it closed behind them. "So," Robin patted her sides. "Off to kill the Crypts?" "Off to kill the Crypts, no questions asked," said Rabdimov. "Accept what you even are. I am a hybrid of the Watkins and the Paralus. Some call me Theo Nihu Ass because of a stupid habit as a kid, but never mind that. Okay, let's go because Atlas was from the future, and he clearly knows best." 6. Mountain. "So Nori, what exactly is the Amalgami?" asked Ravine. 1 mile remained before they reached the mountain. At the time, I actually had no clue what he actually was. "So it's a he?" "Yes. When I met him, he was in the form of a building. Anything absorbed in him was under his control. The building was actually constructed by things he found. If something is absorbed, it becomes part of him or his body. What Atlas told me was that he was a human who got a hold of a subscrite crystal and tried to get his powers. Instead, his body and soul were absorbed into the crystal, stripping him of a body to reside in. His power was to be able to absorb things, like anything. Over the years, he collected and absorbed until his body was massive. He even made use of organic matter like dead bodies. He eventually started a twisted and horrific show called the Amalgamy Games, which was compared many times to Squid Game. Oversimplification, 10 games that kill you if you lose. It was broadcast live on camera. Anyone unfortunate enough to have watched the show were lied to and told that it was all CGI. By the 10th game, the remaining players, including me, had had enough and rebelled against him. He started rampaging and basically killed everyone except me and a few others. With their help, I managed to get the subscribe crystal that his soul was inside. And with some effort, I destroyed it, killing him. Then, a year later, Atlas took me, explained everything, and brought me and Rabdimov here. Quite a story. Everyone's got a story to tell. That's what I always say, said Rabdimov. Eventually, they arrived at the foot of the mountain. They took a step, but their feet phased right through it and onto the same ground level. What the? Can we walk through this? Asked Nori. We can. It was revealed that the mountain was a hologram generated by the machine. Immediately, a sentinel saw them and engaged attack mode. They pulled out their guns. Aim for the eyes. Blinding it will buy us time, said Rubin. They fired at it. It didn't even slow down. 500 meters. 400. 3. 2. Rabdimov saw that their attempts were futile. Screw it! He grabbed Nori and Raven and teleported 7. Devoid space. They found themselves in a blank white void. Robin and Nori looked around for a few seconds. Rabdimov, where in the known universe did you take us? Asked Robin. I call it the devoid space. It's not in the known universe. I go here sometimes when I teleport. You, don't be alarmed, but it turns pitch black every so often. I can still teleport, but it's slower. Also, watch this. He lifted his thumb, index finger, and middle finger, and did a little motion with them. A version of the Sentinel appeared, still, frozen in time, like a diorama. Despite what it looks like, time is not stagnant here. I know this because I have sat here waiting for something to move, and after an hour, it moved about 2 millimeters. Now, the most effective way of shutting down a crypt is by decapitation. So, Robin, you will fly behind it with this. He formed an axe with the finger motion and motioned it to her. And chop it the very second we teleport back. It will disintegrate. After about 30 seconds, so be swift with it. And Nori, you will make sure it's dead by. He formed a sledgehammer and gave it to her, bashing its head in. And when it's put to rest, we run as fast as possible before any more of them approach. We may not be lucky enough to travel here if I teleport then. When we reach the machine, we take out that subscribe crystal. That'll stop it. Do you guys understand the plan? Yup, got it. You ready? Mm-hmm. They made their way to their positions. 3, 2, 1. It happened so fast. The damn thing didn't even get a chance to react. They ran. Super fast. Sliding under the sentinels and jumping on top of their heads and on their backs. The small speck that was the machine, now a visible goal illuminating brighter each step. They made it. The crystal! Grab it! Nori said in a desperate panic. Ravine's motor skills must have been factory reset, because instead of grabbing it, she punched it right out of the spire. In an instant, the beacon shut off, the mountain hologram disappeared, and the crypts started dropping left and right. They had done it. I think we did it, said Nori. We beat the sentinels, said Rabdimov. Rabdimov, where did Atlas tell you to teleport after this was all said and done? Asked Ravin. Here. He handed her the picture. It looked like something out of Tron. Well, what are we waiting for? Nori sighed. They held each other's hands and teleported. The next thing Ravin saw was the same place from the picture. Digital looking with a grid floor and various geometric figures everywhere. Get back here, someone yelled. Just as Raven turned around to look at the commotion, someone crashed into her. She was sent flying back and hit her head. The last thing she saw was a yellow triangle with a singular eye. Avis Haven by Sub-Zero-I, DINO&CreepY.
Oh my freaking gosh. He butchered those names like there was no tomorrow. It's not Goshishid. It's Ghostikid. Actually, Ghostikid. Because the inspiration from the name was Ghost Orchid. What? Also, I felt like you read it a little fast. That's weird. I'm scrolling to see what... I don't know, there was... It's like, despite me putting, like with the question mark, or the exclamation point here, you can't see it because it's pitch black, or is it? Actually, it might not be. It says shicks. Alright, they're like, but she's been like, shicks! Or something. But the way, I don't like its interpretation. And, I don't know. But obviously, you don't want to listen to someone stutter every single time. Here, let me try. Okay, well, I'm going to be on my way. So, yeah. You can come if you want. Here, wait. Where's that part where, maybe I should read these. Maybe that's what I'll do. Except for the Amalgamite games. The Amalgamite games is a bit better if it's... Okay, wait. Oh, okay. Let's start. She slipped out of the door. The moonlight... See what I'm talking about? Right there. I mean, it wasn't that bad. Okay. The moonlight illuminated the path to the gate. She lit her torch and headed for the gate. Her claw barely grazed the surface of the metal when... Where do you think you're going? Asked a voice behind her. Ah! She jumped, causing her torch to drop her... Causing her to drop her torch. It stayed lit, lying flat on the floor. It was Chief Oryx. Chief Oryx! How would you... Hi! She leaned on the gate. I asked you a question. That means you answer it, he said, crossing his arms. Nowhere, just doing my usual stargazing. Up in that tree. She pointed to a tree behind her. I've made laps around the Haven every night ever since I was annoyed, Chief, and not once have I seen you going out to stargaze. Well, also, if you're gonna stargaze, can't you just do it from your nest? Why do you have to exit the Haven? I see you are caught in your web of lies, or your own web of lies. He gave a chuckle. Raven sighed. Yes, Chief Oryx. Chief Oryx. Yes, Chief Oryx. Tell me the truth. Where are you going? Why is that actually so much better? Should I be the one reading these things off? I mean, sure, I stutter a little bit, but... Oh, whoa, where did it take me?
Person we're trying to find.
Nope. Okay. Wow. That is weird. Also, this scene... Who's there? Asked Raven, starting to reach for a gun. It's just me, someone said. What? Willow, don't play dumb. I don't know who you are, but I'm not Willow. Trev, that's not me, someone said. Then who is it? Someone pulled back a leaf in the area her torch shone. A mushroom person? Ah, what the hell are you? I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I don't know. Who's the other girl? That's Willow. Okay, hold on. Willow, where even are you? I'm right here, Trev. Where's here? I can see a flame. By the way, where's Ghost? How do you expect me to know? How many of you are there? I'm up here. I'm not gonna say that. Wow. Dumb acidic solution. Yeah. Acid. It's not a bad word. Just acid. What else is the thing? There's a lot of these that I don't... Also, yeah, there's pronunciation, and then the, like, creative interpretation of the tone of voice. So, like, okay, well, I'm going... Oh, wait, I already did that one. You monster! What do we look like, cannibals? Ghost and I are gonna munch on some tasty photons, thank you very much. Also, the timing between sentences, like, the things like, Ghost and I are going to munch on some tasty photons. Thank you very much. Like, no. The timing, I don't know. You just gotta get lucky with it, I guess, because it's different every single time. Also, how are you guys' fighting skills? actually really good. Alice trained us when we developed to do so. He said we'd need it. By the way, who's this Atlas guy? Oh, we're not supposed to tell you. He said it'd ruin the timeline. Okay, well, let's get going. Want to get there as soon as possible. Oh, wow. Also, I think this is the second time. Yeah, this is the second time that the Divine were mentioned. This one doesn't have nearly as much promotional art, probably because I can't draw birds, so I try to not draw a raven or any of the other characters. Also, by the way, if you're thinking, wait, if they're all bird people, which Avis Populo should be like, translate to bird people, okay, you're thinking, if they're all birds, well, why didn't she just fly up and wake her up? Because she's throwing rocks because she's a chicken, and chickens can't fly. Actually, it's a he. Sorry. And that... I think that was, like, kind of supposed to be the joke. Okay. Also, there's actually a lot of things that I never really got the chance to explain, like certain references or a lot of the names and reasoning behind this stuff. Also, close to the end, the reason... Okay, the last thing she saw was a yellow triangle with a singular eye. Boom. And that's supposed to be... like, if I were famous, if you guys actually were people, like, would dig into things and theorize, because that's what my intent on these things. Also, use your brains. That's why a lot of these don't have as much detail as Avis Haven tried to be. Like, details and things. Like, okay, well, just by what they're saying, I try to make it in a way that they kind of explain it just a little bit so that you can use your brain to figure out how this society works and how these things... But then I realized, oh yeah, I'm not actually... So it'd probably be best if I try to explain, because not everybody actually looks into this stuff. And that's what I was trying to do here with the last thing she saw was a yellow triangle with a singular eye. That was supposed to be people thinking it's Bill Cipher. Obviously not. Bill Cipher does not exist in our reality. He's never been. He could, though. He could jump to our reality. Okay. It's also meant, this ending here is also meant to be a teaser for the next installment, which is officially going to be called Polymania. Also, I did the sad thing of looking up Polymania in YouTube and Google. Turns out it's actually some completely random thing. I didn't even look into it. I just looked up Polymania, see if I got any results. And yes, I did. And it's just really unfortunate that the name like that... I'm not going to change the name, by the way, but it's a pure coincidence. But it's already taken. So yeah. Anyway, enough of me yapping. And, I don't know. Is there anything else I wanted to explain? I will do the story so far once this video is posted. I will record that, so... Basically explain the whole lore. Up until Avis Haven. So... Bye.